How y'all doing? It's King Chance. I hope y'all taking care of yourself. Hope y'all out in nature getting sun. It's very crucial during this time of growth and expansion. I made this place for other cosmic beings of higher vibration who need a place to rest, a place to come, to be at ease, a place where their inner child can be, and they know that they're accepted in the beloved. I wanted to make a video on the steps to finding your higher self, at least being conscious of it, because your higher self is in the room right now. Your higher self is here right now. Okay, so let's gather in. Let's create a time in the space where the divinity can flow through us. Deep breaths. Giving thanks for the universe, giving thanks to the sun, giving thanks to the earth, giving thanks to you, the listener. An opportunity for the divine to flow. So, before we talk about the higher self, we gotta know what the lower self is. We have to know what the lower self is derived of, how the lower self functions. You know, the truth is you already know all this, you're just not conscious of it, meaning you're not aware of it. A lot of us been living in our lower selves, and due to trauma, hurt, we put this shell over us, and this shell is called an ego. It's the densest part of the source. It's that densest part of us. A lot of us have healed, did the work, and we went within. Somebody I love today, and we take for granted, the chosen take for granted how advanced and enlightened. We take for granted how when you're not on earth anymore, you don't deal with earthly things. And I want to let you know, your lower self ain't the bad guy. You meant to love that part of you. Your lower self is the model. Your lower self is the spaceship. Your lower self is the 666. I'm gonna take my time. Is that cool?
Just keep walking through the storm. I must find a way. Yeah, take off and fly away. They watch me, they haunt me. Oh no, I must escape. I pray, oh source, give me strength to fight another day. Keep walking through the storm. I must find a way. Yeah, take off and fly away. They watch me, they haunt me. Oh no, I must escape. Pray to source, give me strength just to fight another day. Walking and talking, lucid daydream, melody divine. Turn this light on, darkness fade away. Slowing down the hands of time. Love space for you, yeah, let go and unwind. Break out this illusion, yeah, and you open up your mind. Activate
Your lower self is the beast, which in the alchemy that I use. And when I say I use, I mean it's a logos, meaning these words are just face value for something that's deeper. And I need you guys to know that reptilians see face value. I need you to look within and see the ingredients. Okay? So your lower self that operates in the 3D realm, look around you. Everything outside of you right now is the 3D. Everything that's external is the 3D. Okay, so your cerebral cortex works in the 3D, moves through time and space in duality. And these dualities is the yin and yang. It's the Adam and Eve. It's the mental body and the emotional body. That is your lower self. So basically, all your flesh suit is the spinal cord, the cerebral cortex, neurons and chemicals. So you have to learn to be an alchemist. You have to learn to love your lower self before you can love anybody outside of you. You have to learn how to love the spaceship you inhabited before you can go on a venture and give anything. Okay? And I need you guys to hear me, okay? Because this is truly out of love. Every cell, every spaceship, every beast is different. Everyone's unique. Some had trauma. So there's some have some people never had trauma. They never been hurt. They've been in light their whole life. They never experienced the polarity. They never went through the darkness. They never went through the shadow. All right? Like I said, there's no good or bad, but you have to be aware of yourself. Because why I say all this is because there's different healing techniques. Because before we do anything, you got to understand, I can only tell you my story, okay? When you fall, when we fell to our lowest form, meaning when we came into this spaceship, it's called the innate self. It's called the primal self. We had to learn, like, you know when they say Eve ate first? Our first language was Eve. Our first language was the feminine energy. That's the first way that our source developed intel, developed light, developed information. When a baby is born, you got to understand their brain isn't fully evolved yet. So they're not thinking in linear no more. They're not thinking in linear yet. Basically, the reptilian mind hasn't evolved. So what happens is, when they're born, it's not what you say, it's how you say. It's a vibrational. As we grow up, your brain develops and it gets stronger and stronger. Then it starts producing faster waves, alpha. And we start thinking for ourselves. So you're trying to get to the center of the earth. We came into the density. We came from outside to get back in. What I'm saying is, you can't use tools in the game to break out of the game. The cerebral cortex can only hold alpha beta codes. There's stronger light codes out there, and it can't be perceived through that part of the lower self. It can be, but you're only going to perceive it in a weaker light. So how do you perceive higher light? It's through the heart. The heart is a higher consciousness. But you got to understand something, okay? When I relapsed, meaning I went to this illusion of separation of the source, also known as identity theft, I was letting external environment dictate my internal world. I wasn't aware of my internal world. I was living very externally, very 3D. They would say this, very reptilian. My Eve left me. I was dead. Adam was walking around alone. So I literally experienced a death, a breaking point. It got to the point where my internal world was screaming so loud it became physical to the outside world. And then I had no choice but to look within. And you gotta understand, I was scared to look within. It's the whole fear program. You're scared. At least I was. So what I'm saying is, your mental body, you got to be aware of your mental body. Hold on, I'm going to show you what your mental body is, okay? Because a lot of people just say that, but they don't. I didn't know. Listen, when you're in the red, when you're in your lowest form, you're not a master, you're a victim. You're a victim to your reality. You don't have a light. You don't have your soul. You gave it away. You can't lose your soul, but you can monetize it. You gave it away. You're running on your lowest frequency. You're running on a lower operating system. So anyways, see how that says I am? I don't know how you read it. I don't know. Now say that in your head. Oh, you see my nose. I am. Now say it in your head. Ready? That voice that spoke in your head, that is your mental body. You made that voice in your image. You are not this voice. You are not just this voice. That voice is the beast itself. It's the masculine part of you down here in this third dimension. There's no good or bad. Your mental body can grow. You can get such a big mental body. When you're going through time and space, get a strong mental body. When I fell, I also grew up late in life. What does that mean? My mental body wasn't that big, meaning I was dumb. My emotions, I was very savage, bro. If I was mad, I was mad. If I was happy, I was happy. You know, it was very extreme polarity living in 3D. I couldn't govern my mental body and I couldn't govern my emotions. I was led by them. I was led by my lower self. I was led by the beast. I fell into my creation and forgot that I was a co-creator. And that happened to a lot of us. So I made these videos because I want to help you with steps how to find your higher self. The key is not to identify with anything external. The key is to not identify at all. The truth is, you are no thing. You're not a thing. You're animated. You have life. You can't be captured. You can have experiences, human experiences, and that's why we're here to experience things. But I'm trying to tell you, when you try to identify yourself with this story, you're giving your power away. You're giving yourself away. So it's important to know what the mental body is. You see how you know what the mental body is? Now we're about to go to the emotional body. And you can say, I know what my emotional body is. You got to understand, it's different than the mental body. If we're talking about the emotional body, guess what? It's not about words. It doesn't matter what I say. Some people don't have, because you got to understand something. You have internal waters. You have a vibration that your soul is kicking out. And some people don't even know how they feel. I want to let you know something. You are bliss. You are no thing. You are zero. Now, how you look at that is on you. That could also be infinity. So, what I am saying is, you should isolate yourself, because when you isolate yourself, you can learn to feel yourself. You can learn how to feel your energetic body. You can learn to know what your energy feels like and just get familiar with it. So when you do go in rooms, when you go in spaces that people with lower entities are, that you know, and you're able to have emotional intelligence, you're able to be emotionally stable, you're able to discern and be aware of your surroundings energetically. F what I'm saying right now, that's all logic. I'm trying to tell you, there's something that happens in the vibrational realm that isn't through words, that you can't skip the part of just, everyone wants the end result, but they don't know how to be a discipline. They don't know how to be a disciple. They don't know how to practice. Everyone wants to take DMT. Everyone wants the easy way out. And I'm trying to help you, because once you master your lower bodies, your mental and your emotional realm, your mental and emotional body, you get to your and you start doing practices and you start getting sacred, you get to your soul. You get to your soul. You get to the part of you that is creative. You get to the part of you that your will comes in. Do you guys know what will is? Will is like, you know what, I see a situation going this way, but your will says no. You will that shit into submission. A lot of people don't even have a will to get out of bed. A lot of people don't even have a will to stop jerking off. A lot of people don't have a will to stop being a lower evolved human. They gave their will away. They gave their soul away. They're only living through an alpha beta system. They're living on a lower light code system. And I'm giving you light codes right now on how to break it. So I'm giving you light code, right? Your mental body's expanding. That's good. I'm glad. But you gotta understand, after you chew on this food, you have to embody it. You have to be it vibrationally. You have a higher version. Lead your mental body to salvation. Leave your emotional body to peace and bliss and tranquility. Don't wait for something outside of you to dictate how your inner kingdom is ruled. The first thing you do when you get out of bed is you put yourself first. You put yourself first. You don't love me if you're not your highest form. You're hurting me. You're literally hurting me. I'm so sensitive, guys. I've been doing this practice for a while and I'm trying to document it. I'm really, really doing the right things, guys. Because you know what? When you're not doing what you know is right, it's called a sin. You held to a higher law. And I stand before you as a humble man saying, listen. Listen to me, please. There's a lot of PTSD. There's a lot of depression, hurt, because people are starting to wake up. They're starting to be able to observe their mental body and say, whoa, why am I thinking like this? They're learning to observe the emotional body and say, why do I feel this way? This isn't me. So they're in this state of shock. This world they were created, this world that they were living in is shifting. I am here to help support people who are shifting to a higher version. Believe in the Bible, and I really don't care, bro. It's a book. I'm just telling you this. Ready? It says to don't bear false idols. When you're not in your highest form, you're in an illusion. You're a false idol. When you're your highest form, you're in your divinity. When you're your highest form, guess what? Christ. When you're your highest form, you are the way. You are the light. I'm being distracted right now. Someone's yelling outside. But listen. Your higher self is here and he knows what's going on. He prepared for this. He knows. It's just a matter of you listening to that. Being sensitive. That's why I said isolate yourself. Be aware of your mental body and emotional body. Go in hermit mode for a while. Get into a shell. Learn how to control and slow down the brain. Listen, when you learn to slow down the brain, it's so much freedom. So much freedom. I hope this video is beneficial. I'll be making more. I'm really just bumping my gums. I'm really not, but I feel like I am. But like I said, be aware of what you're feeding your lower functions in this realm, because as below is above, as above is below, as within is without. Love y'all, Earth Angels. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be making more videos. God bless.